Hello, welcome to my curious life. Today, while I get on with some of my daily and weekly cleaning routines, we're going to have a little bit of a chat about something I think that we can all identify with, and that's life getting busy. And more importantly, how on earth you keep on top of things when that happens. Well, I'll talk about how I keep on top of things anyway, and hopefully you find it a little helpful, because we could all do with a little support and encouragement when life gets busy. So right away, you're seeing me do some of my morning routine, which I have talked about extensively over the years, but it really is one of the biggest things that makes a difference when it comes to keeping on top of everything. And my morning routine consists of the general things you would consider normal to do in the morning. Things like getting yourself ready for the day, emptying the dishwasher, prepping the kitchen, feeding your family and walking the dog. One thing I do try and do is do a load of laundry at this time of day. It took some practice because I used to be a do all my laundry on one day type of person, but I have found that it is much easier to keep up with and a lot less overwhelming of a task if you do it daily, or at least most days. But other than checking my planner, that's pretty much my morning routine. Although I have been researching some old cleaning routines that date back to the 1800s and mid-1900s, and back in the day it does seem like people did a lot more cleaning before breakfast than I do, so I have been curious about trying to add in some of these. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in me exploring those cleaning routines a little further, because it could be a fun experiment. But for now, this is my morning routine, and the reason this works so well is because it really sets me up for the day and makes the rest of the day much easier. Just doing things like making sure the dishwasher is emptied first thing means that as things get used throughout the day, they can go straight into the dishwasher and not clutter up the sides and just cause a mess all day. And one of the great things about having a good morning routine is that when life gets super busy, a lot of your chores are done before you even start the day. Obviously, these do still take time, but because it's completed before breakfast, it just kind of feels like extra time that I wouldn't be doing much in anyway, nothing productive anyway. Later in the video, I will talk more about my nighttime routines and how they help when I'm busy too, but before that, we need to talk about the rest of the things that need doing in a day. So I don't know about you, but I find keeping a house clean, tidy, and how I'd like it to be quite a lot of work. It's never ending and time consuming, and it always needs doing. This is where my routines and habits come into play. I use the FlyLady cleaning system, which has been really useful for forming good habits and keeping up with things, for the most part anyway. And essentially the system breaks down your home management tasks into a bunch of routines. Your daily routines, which is morning, evening and afternoon and your daytime. Your weekly routines, which is your daily focus and weekly maintenance clean, which is what I'm going to be doing today as well. And then your monthly routines, which are your deep cleans. And this is split into zones and you focus on one zone for each week of the month, and you get through a series of tasks that you can split into spending a few minutes a day on, or do it all in one day, whatever works best for you. It sounds like a lot, and that's because it kind of is a lot, but each routine has systems in place to ensure you don't spend hours cleaning, and that you accept that good enough is good enough. And once you break it down, it really is manageable, as long as you factor in two things. The first is that it still does take time. My morning routine, including a dog walk, takes about 1.5 hours. My evening routine is probably about 30 minutes long if you don't include things like showering and self-care. And then my afternoon routine takes probably about another hour, which is a lot, and it feels like a lot of time in the day. But you also do have to take into account that some of this routine is stuff that we'd have to do at some point. It includes dishes, laundry, cooking and eating, but having it routine to a set time means that it's contained to that time and those chores don't end up spreading out throughout the day. The second thing to take into account is that it does get easier over time. If you stick to it long term, then it gets so much easier. The first few months are difficult, especially if you haven't had a regular cleaning schedule up to that point and you didn't do a lot of deep cleaning, which is how I used to be. But a few months in, as you get to grips with your deep cleans and you've been doing them for a few months, you find that everything is already cleaner to start with, so it just isn't as difficult to keep clean. But this leads me to talking about being busy, and we're kind of ready to move on to our afternoon and nighttime routines. But right now, this is a really busy time for me. I'm doing a psychology degree and I'm in the middle of my end of year assessments, and it's kind of crept up on me a little, so I've got quite a lot of work to do. And I'm just struggling to do everything at the moment. And I think that we all have times like this, although the reasons for being busy will be different. But there are just times when we can't do everything, and we have to accept that for whatever period of time, we need to relax some of our routines a little bit. And for me, some of those routines is going to be some of the housework. Not all of it. There are things that will always need doing, but I have come up with a solution that I think will work for me for the next few weeks while I deal with my final assignments for uni. The first thing I'm doing is accepting that it is okay if the house isn't perfect. It's just a house, and as long as we're all taken care of, if things are a little dustier than usual, that's absolutely fine. And FlyLady does kind of take this into account. The entire idea of the system is to make progress and not try for perfection. So for me, I'm dropping my zone cleans for a month or two. And the great thing about having a good cleaning routine is that it's okay if you need to skip a month of deep cleans. The house doesn't generally, not for us anyway, go back to a complete mess overnight. And then when I can get back to my zone cleans once the uni year is over, they might need a little bit more of a clean, but it won't be too bad and it won't take me too long to get on top of everything. But what I am keeping is my morning and evening routine. The morning I did go over earlier, and I will talk briefly about the evening in a moment. And I'm also keeping my afternoon routine. And that one just basically includes prepping meals, giving the floor a vacuum, and tidy away any clutter in the main living rooms. The other thing I'm going to try and keep doing is my weekly maintenance routine. This is an hour-long clean where you spend 1 hour once per week completing a series of 6 tasks to keep your home maintained. You spend 10 minutes on each task and then stop. And just this small amount of time really does make a difference to keeping the house at least looking clean and tidy. So the tasks I have in my weekly home clean are dusting, vacuuming, mopping, watering my plants, putting laundry away and doing a quick tidy up. It doesn't really feel like that's going to make much of a difference, but it really has made a difference to us. So my evening routine is a fairly short routine, and I did talk about it quite recently in a video, which you can check out if you're interested in finding out more detail about it. But this is a routine that sets you up for an easier morning for the next day. For me, this means giving the kitchen a quick clean and tidy, putting the dishwasher on, making sure I've taken any food out the freezer that we'll need for tomorrow, and then making sure I'm showered, relaxed and ready for bed. It also includes choosing your clothes for the following day, so that you have one less decision to make in the morning. This routine is one that's become second nature to me, and this is one that Blaise and I do together. She tends to take the kitchen and I tend to do some tidying up in the other rooms. And I actually now cannot imagine us not doing this every evening. It has made life so much easier and the mornings just so much calmer. If I get really busy, then this and the morning routine are the 2 routines that I would keep doing even if I need to just drop the rest of the routines, because they really do make such a difference. Anyway, I am done for the day and hopefully I've given you a little bit of insight into what my cleaning routines look like when life gets busy. Because this is not the first time I've had to drop some of my routines for a short period of time, and it definitely won't be the last because life just does get busy from time to time. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and if you want to watch another video then check out one of these for a little more inspiration.